Rugby league attracted me probably because of the physicality of the game. So I started training schoolboys rugby league, so it gave me an idea of the game, probably the physicality that martial arts had brought me. Sort of kind of breeds a certain toughness into your body. 2001, I went to Japan. I was introduced to Tucker from Access Jiu-Jitsu over there, a Rickson Gracie black belt. Tucker gave me my purple belt, gave me his blessing to open up his first international school back in Australia. And Tucker said, I'm going to take you to the States to meet Rickson. If I was already addicted to Jiu-Jitsu at that time, then it was like, this is like my whole life now. Kron came over in 2008 and stayed for 2 weeks. And from that point forward, between my relationship between Tucker, Kron and Rickson, I think that my Jiu-Jitsu grew so much. And then coming back to Japan to compete at the Rickson Gracie Cup, I finished the final, walked off the mat, and there's Kron taking his black belt off, putting his black belt around my waist. And to have Rickson right by my side, Kron and Tucker all giving me the blessing for the black belt, besides the birth of my children, it was the best day of my life. So the correlation between Jiu-Jitsu and Rugby League is, it's a fight. Crunching at each other, trying to damage each other. You're going in there for a battle, it's a fight. And of course the relationship there is that all of the technique makes a massive difference. I got a phone call from Scott Sattler. Scott Sattler at the time was the football manager of the Gold Coast Titans. And he asked me if I'd be interested in, getting involved with the team as like a contact coach, defensive contact wrestling. Years before, I remember sitting down watching football with my father. It was State of Origin. And the contact on the ground, even though it wasn't probably in the game at the time, I remember saying to my father, Jiu-Jitsu and this, there's a match here, If these guys could do something like what I do on a technical level, there's something that could be added to the game. So when that opportunity came up, I really jumped on it. The guys came in for a trial. They liked it straight away, and they brought me on board pretty much immediately.
Wrestle has come into our game enormously in the last 10 years because it's successful. Our game is about contact, it's about you physically monstering the other side, but with being smarter about how you do that, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu plays a big part in that for us. But just with that little bits of technique that they've been able to pick up since we've started doing this, we've been doing it a while now, and that's been the big change.
In my very first session with the Titans, I knew straight away, because they're big physical guys, I'm going to come into this team and they're going to challenge me straight away. And the first session was pretty funny because that's exactly what happened. So I was showing the guys some techniques, with cutting angles and the way that you should be moving in contact, related to Jiu-Jitsu, of course. And out of the blue, the co-captain at the time, Luke Bailey, he's a big boy, he's probably 110 kilos. He came running at me from behind and actually hit me at full force from behind. And I just automatically put my leg between his legs and did a big shoulder throw straight over the top. He landed directly in front of me. I put my knee on his belly and looked at him. And he was like, whoa. And the whole team just laughed. And they were all clapping and cheering, and that was my introduction. That was their introduction to Jiu-Jitsu and Rugby League. So he's going to turn me the other way. Okay, so what we're doing right now is in relation to rugby and the transition of the Jiu-Jitsu into the movement is In the tackle, the guys are looking to dominate, the elbows, tie up the ball. So on the way down, as the guy goes down, what we're looking to do is actually make contact with the ground in defence and try and recover using the Jiu-Jitsu underhooks to control the play so that the guys can get up off the ground and play the ball faster.
You might have a player, only 5'6" and 80 kilos, and you've got a fella who's 6'4" and 115 and can run, so they always come in contact with each other.
Make sure your head's not going down. 3.
They need to, especially the smaller fellas, need to be able to get those bigger blokes down. If a little fella can bring those big fellas down and put him on his back and twist and dominate him, mate, I think it's a huge bonus to the team.
Being a small bloke, you had a big bloke, 110, 120 kilos, sitting on me, laying on top of me. For me to struggle to get up just wasted so much energy, but you sort of think about what you've trained for, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, just made it so much easier. And a lot of the time, 90% of the time, I was up before the bloke that tackled me.
You're always in combat with guys that are so much bigger than you, and their job is to get you and stop you. Probably not to hurt you, but they try and hurt you, to slow you down. So my game was about sort of speed and trying to beat somebody, but invariably you always got caught. And then it was just sort of like, it was always just a fight for me, rather than just sort of understanding body position, or understanding where to put my arm, or where to how to grab onto someone to hold someone still. I played for 17 years professionally. I've never had one thing impact my game more. Not one thing impact my game more than learning some skills of jiu-jitsu.
These guys are like elite athletes. Sometimes you just can't compare, other sports to these guys. Not only are they pushing their body to the limits while they're training, then they're smashing their bodies in the game.
Mentally is a lot going into it, and I think doing a lot of jiu-jitsu gives us that little bit of an edge.
It's crazy. The guys train so hard and they put so much of their life and so much of their heart and passion into the sport. It's like their rugby league is like my jiu-jitsu. So for me, it's an honour to be involved in such, not only an elite sport, but such a professional organisation.